Will digital marketing budgets increase or decrease in 2025? A recent survey polled chief marketing officers to find out what their feeling is going into the new year. Find out in this video what chief marketing officers are saying and follow along to understand what their preferred strategies are. There are some emerging trends you can invest in and actually get your bang for your buck, but I'll tell you where CMOs like me are putting our budget because that's where we see the most results. 2024 was a huge year for advertising. $772 billion of advertising budget was invested, and we saw a 5.9% growth. That's huge. That means this is going to double in about 11 years in terms of marketing budgets if this pace keeps up. So digital marketing includes social media, online, retail media, dominate the growth in this sector. But you have to understand, before 2020, digital marketing was only about 50% of ad sales, and it was far smaller. It was about $500 billion. Now it's about 2/3 of it. So the rising competition is also going to be factored into the rising costs. And these are elements you have to consider as a business because these costs are just going to add to your bottom line of acquiring new customers and sales. If you only look at budgets, you may have a distorted picture in your marketing and sales because this is what CMOs are saying about 2025. 89% of CMOs are planning on increasing their ad and marketing budgets, where 40% are going to increase it by as much as 5%, and 18% are going to increase by as much as 10% or more. This means that CMOs are likely going to be very aggressive. And a lot of the time, CMOs are in big organizations with multiple people, so these are somebody that you may be competing head-to-head on, but not somebody that's going to be in your area if you're a small business or an e-commerce store or an artisan store. What are you going to do here? The economics and the uncertainty is decreasing. People are getting excited about marketing and sales. They're excited about investing and growing their business. And I think a lot of the weight and the baggage that we've been carrying the last couple of years, we're starting to put down that luggage and start to pick up some of the tools we need to build our business. And sometimes we even have to retool our businesses. While we're retooling our businesses, running ads to get customers in the door is a good way to take time away from generating leads and sales and automate that process while you can build and retool your business. It is a double-edged sword, as I said, because competition is going to increase. But what are some things that you can look at as top priorities? So your marketing technology trend, you want to streamline or reduce unnecessary tools. Your branding and awareness, invest in content, social media, and ads. You have to get in front of your customers and show that your customers that you're in business and constantly be on top of things, like making videos constantly. You also have to look at customer acquisitions. Look at new areas to acquire customers because this is going to help you cut down on some of your acquisition costs in other areas. If you can get customers from one area, it's going to help decrease your costs in other areas where paid search in some situations could be more expensive. What are the favorite channels that CMOs like? We love Meta ads. We love Google ads, and SEO leads is where all the budget allocation is going, especially with Meta. Now with the rollback, with the fact checkers, we've gone from the era of organic reach is dead and you have to pay to play to where organic reach came back. If you haven't noticed already, a lot of our profiles that we're managing in our own personal profiles, the organic reach has increased. So it's a really good time to get back into Meta and also compound and amplify that by using paid ads and boosted ads. And I really think Meta is priming itself to take away from Google because Google seems to be lagging. The results may not be there. And a lot of the time it's a big black box, and that could be frustrating when if you're doing something on Meta, you're doing a video, it's a bit more engaging and it's very transparent. It's like having a conversation. Getting an ad to your website and then having the website talk to you could be a little impersonal. Although Google Ads is very important because you can get more targeted, higher intent traffic, Facebook is really where customers can interact with you. Emerging channels such as YouTube, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, maybe even Red Note, once they translate that app into other languages, are also emerging trends. We've also seen some customers interested in Twitter ads or X ads, whatever you want to call it. What's happening with CMOs in the B2B or the B2B space? Like, how are they operating and behaving differently? In the B2B space, marketers are getting cautious to invest into customer experiences instead of cold traffic generation, CRMs, and brand building. This is where it's important to build customer data platforms, integrate with server-side tracking, and figure out what your lifetime value and your profit on ad spend, not rate of return on ad spend, profit on ad spend, so you can invest in the campaigns that are generating sales. In B2B sales, one of the pitfalls us CMOs fall into is we can add to the cost of converting that lead. And if we didn't do anything, it would feel as if we would have the same results as if we were to invest 5 figures a month extra to convert that lead. So a lot of the time, the pitfall is you're going to invest more and you're going to get the same results and higher costs. So that is something we want to avoid as CMOs, and technologies are one of the pivotal moments in us to improve those leads. Now in the B2C marketing, it's all about acquisition and retention, and email marketing is going to be big here because you may be paying a lot on the first touch, but on the second touch, the third touch, the fourth touch, once they're in your CRM, you can start approaching them. You can do remarketing and really cost-effective strategies, whether they're paid or non-paid, in order to get in front of your customers again, to remind them, send them new promotions and offers. So B2C can be easier because it's more transactional focused. It could be service focused, and it's a lot easier, less moving parts, where B2B is going to be, you have to really understand your customer and you have to tailor your solution to that customer, and that can take time and the longer cycles, but there's a bigger payoff there than in a B2C space. So challenges ahead. We've been talking a lot about this. We're seeing the rising cost per clicks are continuing to impact budgets. How can you get good traffic if your cost per clicks are growing? And if you're using those vanity metrics to measure the results and the performance of your campaigns, well, you're likely going to harm yourself because you're looking at that first click and you're not really seeing what that first click is doing when it converts into a sale. You might be losing at least 1 and 2 of your Google Analytics traffic because of cookie consent, ad blockers, and things like that. So smaller teams may struggle to stretch the budget across different channels, but here's a video where I talk about what you can do with a smaller ad budget. And you want to encourage experimentation with emerging platforms. As I said, RedNote is a big trend, and RedNote is a little bit different because it's a hybrid of TikTok and Amazon and a couple of those moving pieces. It may not be applicable to all markets because it's tailored to regional markets in Southeast Asia, but it's also a snapshot of what the TikToks, the Twitters, and the Facebook shops are going to look like in the near future, because that transaction is going to go from offline to online. More of those offline to online retailers are going to look at their store. And shout out to Happy Mango, one of our clients that we've worked with over the number of years. They actually shut down their retail operations to focus more on experiential, concierge-based, one-on-one product demonstrations or small groups. And this is leading to a lot more personalization, and this concierge experience is why you would buy from a retailer instead of an Amazon, where it could be a drop shipper selling products on Amazon. You have terrible support, and you're likely not going to buy from them again. When you can build a relationship with a concierge brand, an artisan brand, that's going to help you through A to Z. Why would you go somewhere else when you can have somebody figuring out all of your questions, when you can rely on that type of partner? So some actionable takeaways is you want to leverage data-driven insights to allocate budget strategically. I mentioned profit on ad spend, investing in campaigns that are generating the most profit. I also talked about lifetime value. If you don't have the right CRMs, the right tracking, and the right tools, you're not going to get those kind of results. And without that sort of clarity, it's going to become harder to invest over time. So if you're not ready to invest into ads, you have to invest in your tools and your marketing tech. And this is a good time too to simplify your marketing tech, because if your systems are not talking to each other, you're paying for something that is more or less obsolete. And effectively, that's going to raise your marketing budgets. Do you want to spend more for marketing? Well, use tools that don't talk to each other and don't help your bottom line. Now, if you're staying vigilant and you're optimistic and you're monitoring the rising costs, you're trying to eliminate technology that's not working, a lot of your challenges are going to disappear. If you have insecurities in your data, that's one of the first things you have to do. I would say 90% of businesses online have insecurity in their data, which means they have insecurity in their partners running their ads, which means they have insecurity in their actual financials of what they're getting at the end of the day. You see the money in your bank account, but you don't know where it's coming from. And as a business owner, those are some of the things you want to figure out. And with clean data and a clear dashboard of what's happening, this is all possible, this is all within reach, and this is what we're doing here at Zima Media and helping our clients, and this is how we manage our own lead acquisition as well. Now, if you look at the outlook of 2025, digital marketing budgets are huge. You're going to start seeing more aggressive investment as social media networks are overlapping, as the TikToks and the Red Notes, as we're overlapping, this commerce that's happening around the world is getting bigger. If you're only operating in the US because you're local, that's fair. But if you're in e-commerce and you offer something very unique, you have that advantage. There is some complications here when you're talking about the actual work that goes into it and how scalable it is, but it's really important that you have to care about your product, share your passion online, get that organic reach, because Meta is really crushing it and so is TikTok, and help yourself get more traffic and compound that by using paid ad and non-paid strategies. So in a nutshell, Google, Facebook, SEO, and now the fourth one is going to be ChatGPT search. ChatGPT search may be the equalizer here, where it's just going to flatten the field and everyone's going to have this advantage that only CMOs have brought to the table until now. So stay vigilant. Make sure you ChatGPT your business and see if you're coming up. If ChatGPT can't find your business, well, your customers can't either, and you may be left in the dust. Make sure you like and subscribe, and tell me what ChatGPT thinks about you and your business here in the comments, and tell me if that's accurate, because if it's accurate, you're already getting traffic from ChatGPT, and if you have good analytics, you're likely already in the know and you're investing in this future opportunity of new customers and leads.